Thanks so much for tuning back in. We are live here at the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. And for my second guest, I have Chef Matt. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yes, so we are coming from Cara, the new restaurant that was implemented over the summer in July at the Chanler Hotel.
Yes.
So before we get started talking about all of these new and exciting changes happening in Newport, can I hear a little bit about yourself, your background, and your experiences as a chef?
Absolutely. So I started working in restaurants the day I turned 14. I was a dishwasher right away. I don't think I was even out of 8th grade yet when I started working.
Right to work.
Yes, yes. And it would always been just a summer job, something I would do. And then I slowly got into cooking. In the summer before my senior year of high school, I went to work at a upscale place nearby that had European chefs there. And it was there that I was first introduced to fine dining and the kind of work that it goes into that. And so I was really intrigued by it. Decided before I went to college that I wanted to pursue this as a career. My parents talked me into going in 1 year of college, which I did. And then after that 1 year, I still was, dead set on becoming a chef.
Yeah.
And so we changed paths, went to culinary school and at Kendall College in Chicago, and then stayed in Chicago for about 10 years all totaled, working around different places. And then one day decided I was done with winter and picked up and went to Las Vegas and spent 14 years out there doing a bunch of different things. My first job in town was actually being the personal chef of Steve Wynn, which was a good way to get introduced to the Las Vegas community.
Of course.
And then worked with Michael Mina at his restaurants in both the Bellagio and Aria. Worked at the Eiffel Tower restaurant in the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Was part of the opening team of Joel Robuchon's restaurant when he came to town in 2005, and really just spent the last 4.5 years before I'm moving here at the Venetian as a chef de cuisine, doing a bunch of different things.
So you have experience working at like some really big name restaurants, working with really impressive chefs.
Yes.
So you really built your career, a lot of it, while you were out in Vegas.
Oh, absolutely. It was there that I always say that my career seems to be like, pre-Robuchon and post-Robuchon. It was really opening Robuchon that really took us all to task in terms of working really hard, being flawless from day one, and the team that had assembled to be a part of that opening was probably one of the best culinary teams I'd ever worked with. There were guys moving from all over the country and even the world to come be a part of that team, and it was a really special experience, and we learned a lot together, and we performed really well together.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that being there, you were able to take those skills that are completely priceless and able to carry it throughout the rest of your career.
Oh, absolutely. From the speed and the accuracy and the timing and the precision, which we had to, every detail of every plate had to be
meticulous.
Flawless, and just bringing that sort of work ethic and attention to detail, and knowing that you can execute table after table, day after day, week after week, month after month. Just knowing that it's possible to work in that type of environment, has been something that's stayed with me. And there's probably more than any single menu item or technique. It's really the feeling of accomplishment and unity as a team that really was probably the most influential factor of that experience.
Wow. So it really had a big impact on you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
Great.
So you spent 14 years in Las Vegas, and then you left warm, sunny West Coast and came out to chilly Rhode Island.
Yes.
When did you get here?
In January. I had been contacted by a recruiter, and I probably went through the first 2 or 3 conversations with the recruiter with only mentioning Newport and not being from Rhode Island or anything like that. I thought we were talking about California at first.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was a couple conversations into the process that I actually heard of Newport, Rhode Island, and I had never been here or heard of it or done anything. So I flew out here last December, got to see the place, met the owners, and the owner is an amazing person, and so it was, and the space is beautiful. The kitchen is great. The kitchen's is the same size as our dining room, which is a rarity in this business.
Usually you have like a little closet space for a kitchen.
Yeah. So
you have to spread out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what we can do and how we can work, I think is really, really great. And so, it was just a great opportunity to kind of take all of the skills that I'd worked on over the beginning stages of my career and bring it all to the Chandler and kind of show it all off a little bit.
Definitely. You're definitely going to want to show off.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Yes. Now, how are you feeling your transition is coming from Vegas to Rhode Island?
It's going well. It's different.
Yeah.
I mean, the pace is different. The size and the scale of everything is different,
Right.
and I think that's probably just making those adjustments. The seasons here are a little bit different. When my first Valentine's Day here this February, I was used to Valentine's Day being like 85 and sunny and kind of writing a menu that reflected that, and
Yes.
instead I had to write a different style of menu because it just feels different
You
here.
need to incorporate heartwarming,
Right.
cozy dishes
Right,
that
right.
really made you feel good and warm, rather than like luscious, like outdoor dining.
Right,
Yeah, very different.
and a lighter meal so people can continue on into the
Absolutely.
evening.
Yeah, of course,
So-
definitely.
So yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the Chanler. If you have never visited the Chanler in Newport before, it is an absolutely gorgeous historic building right on the Newport Cliff Walk, and they definitely incorporate a lot of culture and color and vibrancy into all of their 20 rooms as well as their dining experience.
Yeah, the property itself is stunning. It's located right on the ocean. All of our rooms are decorated differently, which I think is a great feature of the hotel.
It is.
I oftentimes say that it's almost like a Cirque du Soleil show where wherever your attention is focused, that's kind of the show you see. So you could go to a circus show, we can sit next to each other and both have our attention in different places
Right.
as the show progresses, and then at the end we haven't quite seen the same show, but we've had
Right.
a bit of a shared experience, and I liken the hotel to that, where guests are all staying on property, but because of the difference in decor and room layout and everything like that, their interaction with the property is all a little bit different, and we try to tie all that together with food and beverage. And so we have 2 restaurants there. We have the cafe, which is a little bit more casual
Yeah.
restaurant with a Mediterranean / New England style menu, and then
Yes.
we have Cara, which is a little bit more of a refined experience that definitely pulls on some French influence in the menu design and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
much more strongly. So
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So you have a lovely tasting menu
Yes.
that you work with at Cara. So
Yes.
can you tell me a little bit about what you can find on the tasting and what kind of options customers might have?
Yes, well, we have 2 tasting menus. The more popular one is called Plunge, and it's your more traditional. We named it Plunge because it's the one where you kind of just go into it and leave yourself open to a few new experiences along the way. It starts off with a scallop appetizer that incorporates avocado and cucumber, which are 2 things that I think are really delicious together. Then we go into a more decadent risotto with oysters and caviar, and then go into skate wing, which there's a ton of skate in the waters out here, and
Yeah.
fishermen catch it all the time, but people don't eat it very often. So I find that a lot of our diners haven't really had skate before, and so we're proud to serve that with a little bit of a citrus butter and a purple potato puree.
Very nice.
Then we move into squab with pickled blackberries and squab confit and a foie gras emulsion, and then we finish it next with a Wagyu ribeye with a celery root gratin and sweetbreads and a black truffle sauce. And then this is actually the final course of that menu. We call it Collide because when you take a plunge, the eventual conclusion is that you collide with something. And so it's roasted apples with an apple cider syrup. We have a sunflower seed streusel, butter pastry crust, whipped brie cheese, and a rum foam. And it as you eat it, you'll find taste memories of like apple pie and things like that. We actually added the cheese to the dish because I grew up in Wisconsin, and back home my dad would always eat apple pie with a piece of cheddar cheese melted over the top. So we wanted to kind of incorporate that
Yeah, it brings some
element
nostalgia and your own
into the dish,
personal-
and so it's just kind of a fun way to be where we are, but also pay a little respect to childhood and things like that. So.
Absolutely. I like that you were able to put your own personal touch, something from your own experiences. You're nostalgic, putting it on the plate. And what I love about this is, you know, fine dining, it's not solely about the taste, it's also about the presentation. This looks absolutely incredible. It looks like a piece of art. And you're able to really get a whole lot of different components and flavor profiles into the dish, so you're able to kind of scoop it all up into one bite.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's
This
fun.
is beautiful. And like you were saying about a chef's tasting, you're able to expose yourself to different kind of experiences which you may not have had access to before.
Right.
So many Rhode Islanders, if we have lots of skate here in the waters, if you haven't had it before, it's a great time to experience that when you may have missed out on it before.
Right, absolutely. It's a delicious fish. I love it, and it's got a unique texture. It has definitely a distinct flavor. I like the fact that it actually tastes like something, and really, you know, kind of stands out and forms a taste memory in your head. It's something that you won't forget for a while. So,
Definitely.
so yeah.
Awesome. So with the upcoming holidays, we've got Christmas and New Year's right around the corner. It's going to sneak up on us before we know it, like it does every year.
Yes.
So what are we celebrating at the Chandler and at Cara?
Well, for Christmas, we're offering a special version of our tasting menu. We're actually calling it Celebrate.
Awesome.
So we take plunge off the menu for the day and replace it with Celebrate, and that one's going to feature capon, king crab, wagyu beef. I mean, a lot of the things that people would associate with a celebration, and then we'll be straight into New Year's Eve. And for New Year's Eve, we're doing two seatings. We're doing one from 5 until 6, and we're offering a 6-course menu for that seating. And then between 8 and 9, we're offering a menu we're calling Revel. And that one is a little bit of an overtop. Starts with caviar, carries on with foie gras, and real Japanese wagyu beef for, you know, throughout the meal. And then after that, we're doing a champagne toast at midnight with music by the Brian Scott Band in our cafe area, and we're doing a half-hour pass hors d'oeuvres from midnight to 12:30.
Very nice.
So people, you know, have a few things to snack on as they get the new year started. So this will be a lot of fun, and we, you know, look forward to seeing everybody there for that. So.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great way to celebrate Christmas or to ring in the new year. Glasses of champagne, caviar, king crab. I don't know about you, but that's how I celebrate.
Right. Oh, I do too. Yeah.
Definitely. It sounds like a beautiful time. And of course, diners at Cara experience sweeping ocean views, floor-to-ceiling windows. So the views are just unbeatable.
Yes. Yeah. It's stunning. I mean, Thanksgiving was super cold, but one of the best things about Thanksgiving this year was that the sun was out. I mean, the view out into the ocean was absolutely amazing. And if, you know, you hadn't known it was as cold out as it was, you'd think it was a beautiful day, but it was bitter cold.
It fooled you.
On Thanksgiving this
But
year.
we're warm
Yes,
inside.
yes,
having
yes,
delicious
absolutely.
food. Absolutely.
So.
Yes. Well, if you haven't gotten a chance to yet, please think about checking out Cara at the Chanler Hotel. Absolutely beautiful experiences all around.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me,
All right,
Chef Matt.
thank you.
I appreciate it. And don't go anywhere because we have our third guest